been watching you all evening, and I want to tear you apart. And your friend, too.
My name is Arsenio. A very unique name for a black guy. In Greek, it means Leroy. It's a nice name.
It's all right. We'll get him. I know it hurts.
You messed with the wrong niggas, brother.
There is a point where you say, I can't please anybody. Spike Lee saying I'm an Uncle Tom and white people saying I'm too black. Who am I doing this for?
There was a lot of stuff that the legends didn't like. And as much as I walked out with a smile and did the show every night, I was tortured, man.
If you're here for laughs, Arsenio Hall's movies are a must. But hold up, his off-screen drama? Ooh, that's a whole different kind of entertainment. Hollywood feuds, jaw-dropping disappearances, and one interview that sent shockwaves through late-night TV.
What's wrong with you, man? I'm black. I'm black, man.
Arsenio's life is like a roller coaster you can't get off. Think his punchlines are sharp? The drama behind them cuts even deeper.
Pound for pound, Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter ever lived.
Oh, come on, man. What about Joe Louis? Nobody in here ever heard of Cassius Clay.
We got a point. Cassius Clay was a bad.
Born on February 12, 1956 in Cleveland, Ohio, Arsenio Hall seemed destined for a life in the spotlight. Before comedy became his calling card, young Arsenio was already working his magic, literally. As a kid, he dazzled audiences as a magician, pulling rabbits out of hats long before he'd start pulling laughs from a crowd.
When I was little, they flew me to New York to do a show called Soul. And my dad got to announce at the end of church one Sunday, watch my son tonight. He'll be doing magic on television.
By his teenage years, he was a polished performer with a knack for captivating audiences. After graduating from Warrensville Heights High School in 1973, following a brief stop at John F. Kennedy High, he pursued higher education at Ohio University and Kent State, laying the groundwork for a career that would one day make him a household name. In 1979, Arsenio Hall made the leap from Ohio to Chicago, determined to carve out his place in the comedy world.
I discovered stand-up. Nancy Wilson funded my move to California.
It didn't take long for his talent to catch the right eyes. Legendary jazz singer Nancy Wilson was one of the first to notice his star power.
When a brother goes in, it's always like a reject from the Soul Train gang or something. Have you seen these commercials? Every brother is always like, I'm hungry!
It wasn't long before he found himself in Los Angeles. Besides Nancy Wilson, no one, not even his family, knew what he was up to in L.A.
I never told anybody why I was going to L.A.
This way, he wouldn't be accountable. If anyone asked, he could have just told them he was on vacation.
When I fail, they won't ride me. I'll just say it was a vacation or I went to learn to surf.
But soon after, Arsenio was hitting the road with music icons like Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and Stevie Wonder. Talk about star-studded company. He even made an appearance on Soul Train. By 1984, he'd landed a gig as the hype man on Alan Thicke's talk show, Thick of the Night.
Is that the last one?
No, I think it gets better.
He also voiced Winston Zeddemore in The Real Ghostbusters from 1986 to 1987.
You know, there's something very familiar about those guys.
But 1988, that was the year Arsenio Hall became a household name. Teaming up with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, Arsenio didn't just co-star, he stole the spotlight.
What have you done?
You told me to fix up the place.
I should kill you.
Why?
I'm supposed to be a poor man.
From playing Simi to Reverend Brown, Morris, and even a hilarious female clubgoer.
But you know, when I look at these contestants for the Miss Black Awareness pageant, I feel good.
His versatility was unmatched. The film became a cultural phenomenon, pulling in over $288 million and snagging 2 Oscar nominations.
We are going back to America. Oh, hell no, Your Majesty.
Arsenio wasn't just about the laughs. He was all about the hustle. In 1987, he launched Arsenio Hall Communications and locked down a multi-picture deal with Paramount Pictures. He was ready to take his career to the next step. When the Arsenio Hall show hit the airwaves on January 3rd, 1989, it wasn't just a show, it was a statement.
It's Arsenio!
Going toe-to-toe with established late-night giants, Arsenio brought a vibe that was fresh, unapologetic, and totally magnetic.
TV viewers and Arsenio's dog pound were awestruck. Michael made the late-night cameo to pay tribute to his friend, funny man Eddie Murphy.
Arsenio knew how to keep it fresh, targeting a young, hip crowd and bringing in guests like MC Hammer.
We should vote for Ice-T for president.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, plenty? Do you have any other guests tonight? It's me and you and Uncle Ray.
And Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan were a bunch of leaders, not a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the most iconic moments, U.S. presidential candidate Bill Clinton's unforgettable appearance in June 1992.
My idea about how to send every kid in America to college who wants to go, which I think is more important to the election and to the future of this country.
Clinton hit the stage and blew everyone away by playing Heartbreak Hotel on the saxophone. This wasn't just a jam session. It was a cultural reset. Clinton's saxophone skills turned him into the cool candidate, instantly connecting with young and minority voters. That moment, it helped pave the way for his 1992 election win. And speaking of unforgettable guests, let's talk about Tupac.
Tupac Shakur.
One of Arsenio's personal favorite moments was when the legendary rapper hit the couch. Tupac, always raw and real, got candid about life, fame, and yes, even smoking.
See, I get a feeling there are two Tupacs.
Punani smelling God.
It was the kind of unfiltered honesty that made the Arsenio Hall show iconic. Arsenio Hall wasn't just a comedian, he was a cultural force. More than a late-night host, he reigned as the king of late-night TV, transforming every episode into a must-watch spectacle. His style and wit captivated audiences, but drama was never far away. In December 1990, the Arsenio Hall show became the stage for a showdown that no one saw coming. During a taping, members of Queer Nation interrupted Hall's opening monologue, boldly demanding answers about why openly gay guests seemed absent from his lineup. Caught off guard, but staying sharp, Hall fired back, explaining that many guests weren't public about their sexuality, leaving him and the producers in the dark.
Sorry, why don't I have any gay guests on my show? Well, there are a lot of gay guests who really don't like to talk about their sexual preference, so we don't know whether they're gay or not.
The protesters weren't backing down, calling out Hall for not booking openly gay figures like filmmaker Gus Van Sant and actor Harvey Fierstein. Arsenio clapped back, mentioning that Elton John had appeared on his show.
I don't know Gus Van Sant, but I know Elton John. He's been here and he's rocked the house.
The exchange grew increasingly heated as Hall defended his booking choices, explaining he selected guests based on their work, not their sexual orientation.
You think I haven't had somebody on the show because they're gay? What's wrong with you, man? I'm black. I'm black, man.
In a 2014 interview, Arsenio didn't hold back when reflecting on the incident, expressing his lingering frustration over the accusations of being unsupportive of the gay community.
I can't do a gay character. It's a joke, man.
He made it clear that he stood by how he handled the situation, saying he'd do it all over again without hesitation. Hall also called out the ignorance of some critics within the gay community, pointing out that many of his guests were gay, but had opted not to share their personal lives publicly.
Most people probably would have cut that out, but you actually played it.
Yeah, I played it, and I was angry, and I'm still angry. I knew who was gay, and they were on my show every night. And to have someone stand up in my audience and do that to me, because you're taking food off my plate, you're taking money out of my son's tuition.
But Queer Nation weren't the only ones who had qualms with Arsenio's choices of guests. Ice Cube called him out for not featuring NWA, even dissing him in a song.
This conflict with Cube, because Cube was like, how come you won't have us on, motherfucker? And we had personal conversation about it, and I told him what I was going through.
The two later made peace after Hall explained the behind-the-scenes battles he was fighting. In a recent interview with Howie Mandel, Arsenio had this to say.
And I heard that I'm in a car, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I love Cube, but Paramount won't let me put y'all on right now.
The Arsenio Hall show was riding high until 1993, airing on 178 stations nationwide. But by then, the late-night landscape had become a battlefield. When The Late Show with David Letterman premiered on CBS, it was a game changer. Suddenly, Hall's show was pushed into graveyard slots or dropped by stations altogether. Ratings took a nosedive, and what followed was one of the most polarizing moments in late-night TV, in what many viewed as a last-ditch effort to keep the show relevant. Arsenio booked Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan.
I've said a prayer, and there's nothing else to do but say, ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the Nation of Islam, Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Farrakhan has long been a lightning rod of controversy, admired by some as a powerful speaker, but widely criticized for his inflammatory and, at times, outright offensive rhetoric.
God has blessed me with oratorical skill, and God has blessed me to be able to move the masses of our people as no other has done.
The episode stirred the pot like never before. Arsenio devoted most of the show to an in-depth interview with Louis Farrakhan, while gospel singer Kirk Franklin and his group, also slated to appear, were pushed to the sidelines.
Everybody put your hands together. Or the Catholic Church for what errant Catholics do, or you can try the rabbis for what errant Jews have done.
Critics slam Hall for giving Farrakhan a prominent platform without grilling him on his most contentious views, accusing the host of failing to hold the controversial leader accountable.
That was controversial before he came on. I mean, just the fact that it was booked.
Arsenio stood firm, defending his choice to feature Farrakhan. He argued that his audience deserved the chance to hear from the polarizing leader, especially with the Million Man March looming on the horizon. However, Hall didn't shy away from calling out the double standard he faced. He pointed out white hosts who interviewed Farrakhan received far less backlash, hinting that race played a significant role in the intense criticism aimed his way. Rumors swirled that the controversial episode sealed the show's fate, but Hall set the record straight, revealing that he had submitted his resignation before the Farrakhan interview aired.
I am with the Nation of Islam. I am the same guy I was the day before. I bring people here and I talk to them because I think you might be interested in these people.
After the original show ended in 1994, Arsenio made a comeback in 2013 with a new version of the Arsenio Hall show. Fans were hyped, and the nostalgia was real as Arsenio brought his signature energy back to TV. But despite the excitement, the show struggled to pull in strong ratings. The dream of a sustained comeback was short-lived, with the reboot canceled after just one season.
Why did you leave?
I wanted to diversify. I wasn't the guy that was supposed to do it straight through. I was supposed to go away and have other experiences.
Hall acknowledged the challenges of his late-night return. While he had some career regrets, he prioritized raising his son, Arsenio Hall Jr., born in 1998. Now, sitting on a cool $16 million fortune, Arsenio is living the good life with his son. And don't get it twisted, he's still got the star power.
And there's a couple sitting in the front booth, and she has that knowing look, and I gave her some Arsenio shit, I did that to her.
With classics like Harlem Nights.
Let's kill that bastard now, man. Let's do it for Tommy.
Black Dynamite, and Coming to America 2.
Discovered that I may have a son here in this land. How much child support she getting from? The king pays no child support.
No child support for 30 years and you can't back.
Which pulled in almost $300 million worldwide, reminding everyone that Arsenio Hall is a name that never goes out of style.
About a week ago, I was gonna meet Eddie Murphy for coffee, right? And you don't know where this story is going, but apparently when he got to the coffee place, he had just seen you.
Arsenio keeps his romantic life under wraps. But one thing's for sure, if there's someone special, they're probably in stitches 24/7. Fans are on the edge of their seats, hoping for news of his next big project and a chance to see him light up the screen once more.